Thank you for joining us. And before we get started with today's video, if you guys like what you're seeing and hearing from the Locked On Senators podcast, go ahead and hit like, smash the subscribe button so you can be the first to know about Sens content. Now, we're going to be doing a ton of these prospect profiles, so if you agree this is someone the Sens should look at or steer clear, leave your comment below so we can hear from you. Now, we got 64 of these, so let's get into it.
Coming in at number 64 on our list with an average rank of 70.67 from the Green Bay Gamblers of the USHL, Pilsy, Cameron Lund.
Yes, Cameron Lund is the first player that we're going to be taking a look at here. And overall, he checks a lot of boxes, Ross. He's a centerman, 6'2", 185 pounds. So nice size, right shot. I feel like that's valuable as a centerman as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, Ross has the nice graphic pulled up here. And with Green Bay, 62 games played, 25 goals, 25 assists. Two-way threat. You like that. Goals and assists there. Good for 50 points and 49 PIMs. Next year, he will be playing at Northeastern. And Northeastern, they've had a pretty decent run here lately, Ross. They made it to the finals of the Beanpot, and they lost 1-0 to BU. So that's a good program to be heading to for Cameron Lund.
You know who's an alumni of that program? Adam Gaudette, Hobie Baker winner.
Yeah, true, actually.
Now, with Cameron Lund, I'm not going to say he's Adam Gaudette, but he certainly has some similarities in the fact that he's a very offensive-minded player. Now, I would say he almost projects better as a winger than as a centerman. Great hands, a great guy, a great vision, but a guy who speeds up when the puck's on his stick as well. I love what he's going to be able to do in the offensive zone. He was a guy where you're watching kind of grainy highlights from the USHL, grinding it out in Green Bay right now. It'll be great to see him against a bit better competition next year at Northeastern. But from everything that I'm reading, he's the type of guy where you're more so wanting to pull him back, where he's making a little too much mistakes, versus a guy who you have to, smack the whip on. So I think that this is a player who has some serious upside for where I believe he's going to go 60 to 75, that range in the draft.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Late second, early third round pick. He's got a lot of nice skills, but I feel like he's one of those guys where it's high floor, low ceiling. You know what I mean? Like you can feel pretty good about him playing a power forward type game. He's already got decent size, like we mentioned, at 6'2", 185 pounds, and he's probably going to grow a little more. He's going to a good program in Northeastern. He's going to have opportunities to succeed. 25 goals, 25 assists, not too shabby in the USHL. So I think he's someone where a team's going to be happy with him, but it's not really a home run swing. Like you're not expecting too much from him.
Right. Maybe a team that doesn't have their first rounder and is going late. I'm thinking of like a Tampa Bay, that sort of thing where you're like, okay, you more likely are going to get an NHL player. It's just how high is the ceiling on that. And as you can tell from the rankings here, Bob McKenzie has him at 44. Craig Button has him at 94. So that is quite the range in itself. Elite Prospects pretty much splits the difference. They have him at 50th on their list. So our average is 70.67 on our list. But I like him as an NHL player down the road. So I think that he's a guy with some physicality and maturity. He's already got the frame, like you mentioned. He could be a player that fits into an NHL lineup. Now, is that NHL team the Ottawa Senators, Pilsy? What do you think about the potential fit there?
I gave him 2 out of 5 stars. And if you guys are just watching these prospect profiles, for the first time, we've been doing it for 2 years. We like to give out a 5-star rating for how well is this fit for the Sens and are they likely to draft him or not, that kind of thing. So I give him 2 stars here, not because I think he's a poor player or doesn't have any any opportunities to be a good part of the Ottawa Senators, just because I think they've got some power forward types. They're not really looking for a guy like him, and I think he's probably going to go closer to the third round rather than at the end of the second round.
Yeah, that's fair. Only 1 goal in his last 5 games, 3 points though, and had 9 points in his last 10 games. He's a Bridgewater, Massachusetts native. And again, we mentioned the great size. We mentioned the right shot. He's a Cushing Academy graduate, the same school that produced Joey Daccord among others. So I'm looking forward to seeing him at Northeastern. I think that he's a guy with some serious potential long term, and a guy that, might not light up the score sheet as I'm pulling up here. He was with Canada at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup and played well there. 4 goals in 4 games, had 5 points. But I'm excited to see what the next step is, because sometimes these big players, they get pigeonholed into a more defensive role, whatever it is. But I think that there might be a bit more upside if they let him play his style. So I have him at 3 stars here for the Ottawa Senators.